Welcome to English Easy Hub. Join us as we ignite the flames of your English learning journey together.
Please subscribe to watch and embark on your English learning journey. Don't miss out on the exciting content. In this conversation, Andy seeks advice from his teacher on how to build effective language partnerships with native English speakers. He aims to improve his speaking skills by engaging in meaningful conversations, but he's unsure about how to approach and sustain these partnerships. The teacher provides valuable insights on various aspects of creating a successful language exchange, such as setting realistic goals, managing different accents, balancing fluency and accuracy, and ensuring mutual effort in the partnership. Throughout the discussion, practical tips and techniques are shared to help Andy become more comfortable and confident in his language learning journey.
Hi, teacher. I've been thinking about how to improve my English, especially in terms of speaking with foreign friends. I've heard that forming partnerships with native speakers can be really helpful, but I'm not quite sure where to start. Could you share some techniques for building strong English-speaking partnerships?
Great question, Andy. Building a meaningful language partnership is all about finding mutual interests and creating a space where both people can practice and learn from each other. Start by being curious about your partner's culture and daily life. When you show genuine interest, the connection becomes more natural. You'll also want to be patient and open-minded when mistakes happen. Learning a language is a process for both parties.
That makes sense. So, would it be good to have a mix of casual conversation and deeper topics to discuss? How do I balance that?
Absolutely. Casual conversation is essential to build rapport, but deeper topics will push your language skills to grow. Try to start with small talk, like talking about your day or hobbies, then slowly introduce topics that require more critical thinking, like current events, philosophy, or culture. It'll make the conversation more dynamic and keep both of you engaged. You can also switch between lighter topics and deeper ones based on the flow of the conversation.
Got it. Do you think it's important to establish some goals for the partnership, like improving certain skills or focusing on pronunciation?
Yes, setting goals is very important, but make sure they're realistic and flexible. For example, you could agree to work on pronunciation for a month, then move on to expanding vocabulary. Having goals helps both parties stay motivated and focused. But it's also important to be adaptable. Sometimes the conversation might naturally lead to something else, and that's okay too. Flexibility is key.
That's helpful. But how do I actually find these language partners? I'm not sure where to meet people who want to practice English, especially someone who's serious about it.
Excellent point. You can find language partners in various places. Online platforms like language exchange websites or apps are great starting points. Websites like italki, HelloTalk, or Tandem are filled with people looking to improve their language skills, so you can find both teachers and language partners. Another option is joining English-speaking clubs or local events where foreigners gather. When you find someone, try to set up regular sessions so the connection becomes stronger over time.
Oh, I hadn't thought about italki or HelloTalk. Those could work well. But once I've found a partner, how do I approach the first conversation? I don't want to come across as too formal or awkward.
The first conversation is always a little tricky, but it's all about creating a comfortable atmosphere. Start by introducing yourself and mentioning what you're hoping to achieve together. For example, you could say, "Hi, I'm Andy. I'm looking to improve my English speaking skills and learn more about your culture. I'd love to chat regularly to practice." Keep it light, ask open-ended questions, and let the conversation flow naturally. Don't be afraid of pauses. They're just part of the process.
That sounds like a good approach. But what if the conversation stalls? I've been in situations where we run out of things to talk about, and it gets awkward.
Yes, that's a common challenge. The key here is preparation. Before each session, think of a few interesting topics or questions you'd like to explore. You can also play a game like 20 questions or use something like would you rather questions to keep the conversation going. If there's a lull, don't panic. You can always ask your partner about their experiences. People usually love talking about themselves, and it gives you a chance to learn new vocabulary.
That's a good strategy. So, what about the issue of accents? I've noticed that sometimes I have trouble understanding different accents, and I'm worried it'll affect my communication.
Understanding different accents can definitely be a challenge, but it's also part of the journey. One thing you can do is expose yourself to a variety of accents by listening to podcasts, watching movies, or having conversations with people from different regions. Over time, you'll start recognizing patterns in speech. If you don't understand something during a conversation, don't hesitate to ask your partner to repeat or explain. Most people appreciate the effort and will gladly help.
That's a good point. I guess practice makes perfect. Speaking of practice, should I focus on speaking fluency or accuracy first? Sometimes I feel like I need to get everything right, but I also want to sound natural.
Both are important, but in the beginning, fluency should take priority. The goal is to feel comfortable speaking and expressing yourself without overthinking every single word. Accuracy can be improved gradually over time. But if you focus too much on getting everything perfect, you might become too self-conscious and stop practicing altogether. The more you speak, the more naturally accurate you'll become. It's a balancing act.
I see what you mean. But what if I make a mistake and it causes confusion? Should I just correct myself or leave it for the other person to fix?
If you realize you've made a mistake, it's good to correct yourself, especially if it affects understanding. But don't overcorrect in a way that disrupts the flow of conversation. If the mistake is minor and doesn't change the meaning, it's often better to continue and address it later. The key is to stay relaxed and view mistakes as opportunities to learn. If your partner is a good language partner, they'll point out mistakes in a constructive way when needed.
That's really reassuring. But what if I'm talking with someone whose English is much better than mine? Sometimes I feel intimidated or like I'm slowing them down.
That's a common feeling, Andy, but don't let it discourage you. A good language partner will appreciate your efforts and be patient with you. In fact, being in a situation where the other person's English is better can actually help you learn faster. You'll be exposed to more advanced vocabulary and phrases, and over time, your language skills will improve. Don't be afraid to ask them for help with words or phrases you don't understand. They'll likely be happy to assist you.
I'll definitely try to adopt that mindset. What about pronunciation? How can I improve that in my language exchanges?
Pronunciation is one area where a language partner can be particularly helpful. If your partner notices a pronunciation error, ask them to give you feedback or even repeat the word or sentence. Practice mimicking their pronunciation. Also, listen to how native speakers pronounce words in different contexts. You can record yourself speaking and compare it to native speakers. Over time, you'll notice improvements.
Sounds like I need to be proactive about asking for feedback. How do I know if my partner is genuinely invested in helping me, though? Some people might just see it as a casual thing.
Good point. It's important to have clear communication with your partner about your expectations. Be upfront about your goals and see if they're willing to invest in helping you reach them. Look for someone who is engaged and responsive, not just in the conversation, but also in providing constructive feedback. A committed language partner will offer helpful suggestions and encourage you to keep improving.
So, the relationship needs to be built on mutual effort and respect. Lastly, what should I do if I feel like I'm not making enough progress with my partner, or if the sessions aren't as helpful as I hoped?
If you feel like you're stuck or not progressing, have an open conversation with your partner about it. Perhaps you need to adjust the topics, pace, or focus of your sessions. It's important to keep the lines of communication open and to make sure both of you are on the same page. If things still don't improve, it might be a sign that you need to find a new partner who's a better fit for your goals. But don't get discouraged. Language learning is a journey, and sometimes it takes a little experimentation to find the right fit.
That's very helpful, teacher. I feel a lot more confident now about starting a language partnership. I'll definitely focus on the balance between fluency and accuracy and make sure I stay engaged and proactive.
I'm glad to hear that, Andy. Remember, the most important thing is to keep practicing and enjoying the process. You're on the right path. Just keep your curiosity alive, and you'll see progress before you know it.
This dialogue offers a comprehensive roadmap for anyone looking to form successful language partnerships. It emphasizes the importance of setting goals, being patient, and cultivating a natural flow in conversations, as well as the value of mutual respect and proactive engagement. By focusing on fluency first, being open to feedback, and staying flexible in different situations, language learners can build strong, supportive connections with native speakers. Ultimately, the core message is about approaching language learning with curiosity and resilience, embracing the process and using each conversation as a stepping stone toward improvement. Andy's journey highlights the need for self-awareness, openness to correction, and ongoing practice, all of which are key to mastering a new language.
Thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe, like, comment, and share to keep the English learning journey alive.